All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another HF Viking baseball broadcast. I'm Dylan Barnes. I'm going to be calling this game and all others throughout the season. So if you can't make a game, be sure to tune in right here on the HF Viking baseball YouTube channel. Today, the Vikings, who are 16 and 14 coming into this one, are going to be facing the number one team in the state, the 25 and 6 Lincoln Way East Griffins. The Griffins are on an 8-game win streak. Their last game was a 5-4 victory over Libertyville at home. The Vikings are 2-3 in their last 5. However, they're coming off of a walk-off loss at the hands of St. Rita. It was senior night on Saturday for St. Rita, and it was a great game that the Vikings unfortunately tied up in the 7th and then lost it in the bottom of the 7th. On the bump today for the Vikings, a little unorthodox one. It's going to be the freshman Henry Humes. This is Humes' first start, and it's going to come against a very good team, the best in Illinois. Against Bradley last Tuesday, he pitched 2 perfect innings and struck out 1, but that is a very different team than the one he's going to face today. The defense for Humes is his battery mate Preston Lund behind the dish, Nico Bilgi at third, Rob Tate at short, Corey Mulling and Elijah Rainey round out the right side of the infield. In the outfield, it's Chris Webb in left, Dylan Head in center, and Jason Ballard in right field. This is a Vikings team that's looking to cross the 20-win threshold. It's going to be tough for them. Only have 5 more scheduled games. Leading things off for the Griffins in this top of the first inning is going to be their left fielder, Matt Hudick. First pitch from Humes is low for ball 1. One 0 from Humes. Hit in the air, shallow left field, Chris Webb calling for it. And he'll take it for the first out of the first inning. So Humes able to get through the first batter on 2 pitches. And we'll send the shortstop Tyler Bell to the plate. Takes first pitch strike from Humes on the outside corner. 0-1 pitch to Bell. Big swing and a miss, 0-2. Good breaking ball there from Humes to get way ahead. Just 1 strike away from the second out of the first. That one's in the dirt, 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes is the count to Bell. That one's hit in the air to center field, and it will fall for a 1-out single. Catcher Aiden Nipper comes to the bat with a man on first and 1 out. A double play ends the inning. If Humes can get it, there goes Bell. That pitch is up. Throw from Lund is not in time. Bell swipes second. It was a good pitch to run on for Bell. That was a curveball above the zone to Nipper. A ball and no strikes. Another curveball that Nipper comes up empty at. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. Count is even, 1-1. Here's a pitch to Nipper. Bell takes off. Throw from Lund. Not in time. Bell just barely avoided the tag. It was a good throw, but a better slide by Bell. Slid to the outside of the base. A ball and 2 strikes on Nipper. This will be a big out to get. Here's a 1-2. Tapped. Past the mound. Bilge will only have one play, and it's to first. Pulled Rainey off the bag, but he slapped the tag on Nipper. But it's an RBI for Nipper. The Griffins get one in the top of the first. Two stolen bases for Tyler Bell. Definitely made an impact right there. He started on first when Nipper came to the dish. He ended up scoring. John Connors sees a first pitch breaking ball from Humes that he leaves low and away for ball one. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Here's a 1-1 from Humes. Hit down the right field line. Foul ball. It was close, but it'll go as strike two. So now Humes one strike away from ending this top of the first. Here's a 1-2. Foul ball down the first base line. Although the Vikings are losing, it definitely seems like this inning has been pretty good to Humes so far. 1-2 pitch, and it hits him. Connors is hit by a 1-2 pitch, so it gives him first base. Right fielder Trevor Fishman will bat with 2 outs and Connors on first. He'll see a breaking ball that'll spin in there for strike one. Humes has started a few batters with breaking balls in the top of the first. He'll need to mix things up in the second, because then the Griffins batters can just wait for the breaking ball and sit on it. Count is even, 1-1. There's a pitch from Humes. Just barely outside, 2-1. Two-one from Humes. Another breaking ball. It spins on the outside corner. I believe that's only strike two. Yes, the umpire punched him out. Count is even, 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's a pitch to Fishman. That one's hit on the ground to short. Tate up with it. He'll flip to Mulling. Take the short way for out number 3 in the top half of the first. Griffins do get one, but the Vikings have a chance to answer in the bottom. Dylan Head is going to lead things off for the Vikings in the bottom of the first, as he has in all the games since he's come back from injury early on in the year.
Dylan Head.
He'll face the Griffin starter, Daniel Justo. Head went 2 for 4 against St. Rita on Saturday. He launches one into right field. Is it going to have the distance? It will not. It is caught at the wall. That one was hit a mile into the air, but it just didn't have the legs to get out. If Head didn't get under that one, that ball might still be going right now. Corey Mulling will bat, and he'll take ball 1 upstairs from Justo. Mulling went 1 for 2 with 2 walks, an RBI, and a run scored against Rita. Ball 2 inside. Two-0 pitch from Justo. On the outside corner, strike 1. Two-1 pitch is hit on the ground. Good dive by Johnny Dwyer, and that's a fine play. Takes a hit away from Mulling. So 2 balls that are hit hard, but they end up both being outs to start the first.
Jason Ballard.
Jason Ballard trying to avoid a very quick 1-2-3 bottom of the first inning for the Vikings. Ballard went 1 for 3 with a double and a walk against St. Rita. See a breaking ball upstairs from Justo. One out to Ballard. Hit on the ground to third. Velez can't come up with it. Long throw, not in time. That's going to be an E5. So it extends the inning for Preston Lund. The ball was hit hard, and Velez just couldn't come up with it. Preston Lund went 1 for 4 with an RBI against St. Rita, and that RBI came up in the top of the 7th inning with 2 strikes and 2 outs. Ended up tying the game at 3 before St. Rita walked it off in the bottom of the 7th. That was strike 1 on the outside corner. 0-1 to Lund. Just barely upstairs, maybe. That's the only possible place that it could have been. That looked pretty good. But we'll take it. It's a ball. That's off the plate. It's 2-1 now. Two balls and a strike. Here's a pitch from Justo. He steps off. Doesn't even make an attempt to turn to try and pick off Ballard. Now he does. Ballard able to dive safely. Another pickoff attempt. That's not even close. Ballard was even more safe than the first pickoff move. That 2-1 is on the outside corner. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Another pickoff attempt. Justo didn't even toss it over to first. Even if he had, Ballard would have been safe. 2-2. Outside delayed steal from Ballard. He is going to be safe at second base. A great slide by Jason Ballard evades the tag. Gets himself a stolen base. And now he's in scoring position for Preston Lund with a full count. Bell thought that he had him. He was running off the field already. Full count that full count pitch was outside. It's a 2-out walk. And it sends Isaiah White to the plate with 2 men on and 2 outs.
Number 13, Isaiah White.
Josh Moore will courtesy run for Preston Lund over on first base. Lund is a catcher, so he can take some time to put his gear on, rest his legs. And Moore is speedy over at first, so if Isaiah can split a gap right here, Moore could score. Popped, foul, and out of play. Oh, 1 is the count to White. Here's a pitch from Justo. It's a breaking ball inside, 1-1. White went 1 for 4 with a run scored against St. Rita. White probably chased ball 2 right there. That was up around his neck. He fouled it back. It's 1-2 now. Justo 1 strike away from getting out of this first. Still hasn't allowed a hit. An error and a walk have put the Vikings in their current position. 1-2. Breaking ball hit back to Justo, and it goes under his glove, and that is going to be a base hit. Ballard able to get back in there at third base. Justo just didn't come up with it. He didn't touch it. It just went under his glove. That's going to be a single for White. And just like that, the bases are loaded for Elijah Rainey. An error, a walk, and an infield single have loaded the bases with 2 outs for the Vikings here in the bottom of the first. Rainey takes strike 1. Rainey went 1 for 2 with a walk against St. Rita. Oh, 1 from Justo. Hit on the ground to Velez. He's up with it, and he'll pump fake. And Rainey's going to be thrown out at first base. Velez thought about going to second, but then changed his mind and threw out Elijah Rainey by maybe a quarter step. But the Vikings strand the bases loaded, and after 1, it's 1-0 Griffins. Zach Kwasny will lead off the top of the second inning for the Griffins against Henry Humes. He'll take strike 1 at the knees from Humes. Good pitch to get ahead right there. Humes allowed 1 in the first, but it was thanks to the legs of Tyler Bell. Stole 2 bases and then scored on a ground out. Kwasny pops it foul, 0-2. So Humes very quickly ahead in the count against Kwasny. 0-2 pitch. That one's skied on the infield. Malling and Rainey calling for it. Rainey will take it for the first out of the second. Jared Velez, the The third baseman will come to the bat with the bases empty and 1 out. Hits the first pitch on the ground to Tate. He's up with it. And a good throw sends Velez back to the dugout in just 1 pitch. So 4 pitches, 2 outs for Humes. Johnny Dwyer will try and avoid being the third victim in a 1-2-3 inning. 4 pitches, 2 outs for Humes. Quick inning right here would be good for the Vikings. There's strike 1 at the knees. Humes has yet to fall behind any batter so far this inning. 0-1 to Dwyer. Tapped foul 0-2. So Humes 1 pitch away from getting through this top of the 7th inning, top of the 2nd in just 7 pitches. 0-2. Tipped foul. Still 0-2. Still way ahead is Humes. 0-2 to Dwyer. Popped. Rainey over. And it will fall out of play. Rainey gave it chase, but in the end it was outside of his reach. Count is still 0-2. A swing and a miss, and Lund slaps the tag on him. A very quick 1-2-3 top of the 2nd inning where Henry Humes doesn't even throw a ball. Going into the bottom of the 2nd, it's 1-0 Griffins. Chris Webb will lead things off for the Vikings in the 2nd inning against Daniel Justo.
For the Vikings, popular number 23, Chris Webb.
Justo was able to work out of a bases-loaded jam that he put himself in the bottom of the 1st, and Webb will greet him in the 2nd with a line drive into the mitt of Trevor Fishman in right field. Fishman was able to run that one down. It hung up there. It was a hard hit ball for Webb.
Third baseman, number 8, Nico Bilgi.
Nico Bilgi, the third baseman, will bat with 1 out. He'll take ball 1 outside. Bilgi went 1 for 3 against St. Rita with 3 very hard hit balls. Bilgi has continued his streak of just absolutely demolishing baseballs. That one's outside. It's 2-0. Bilgi also pitched against St. Rita. He threw 5 innings of 3-run ball. Pops that one into shallow left. Hudick and Bell talking, and Bell will take it for the 2nd out of the 2nd inning. For Robert Tate, the last hitter in the Vikings lineup.
Robert Tate.
The shortstop went 1 for 3 against St. Rita. Try and extend the inning to the top of the order in Dylan Head. And he will. Takes one off the back. I'm sure he doesn't mind that. Anyway on. And now Dylan Head comes to the plate, representing the go-ahead run.
Number 1, Dylan Head.
Head missed a home run in the first by about 3 feet. He sent Trevor Fishman all the way back to the wall. And breaking balls upstairs, 1-0. As it stands right now, if the season were to end today, Dylan Head would have set a new Vikings all-time batting average record. He's batting .506 on the year. Record is .502. That record has stood for nearly 20 years. Head taps it. Fair. Foul. No, excuse me, foul. Umpire called it. So the count is a ball and a strike. Head will come on back. One and one is a count to Head. Here's a pitch from Justo. Swings and ropes one right into the mitt of Velez at third base. Didn't even have to move, just stuck his glove out and spun and made the play to end the second. So after 2, it's 1-0 Lincoln Way East. Last hitter in the Griffins lineup, Jack Kosich, will lead things off in the third against Humes. He'll tap one foul for strike one. So far, Humes has only allowed 1 hit against a very good Griffins lineup. Hopefully I didn't just jinx him. That one is hit to the backhand side. Rob Tate, great play. A one-hop rocket that he's able to field and then fire a bullet to first. Turns the lineup card over for Matt Hudick, the left fielder. He flied to left field to start the ball game in the first. He'll take ball 1. That's on the outside corner. Strike 1. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. One pitch. Hit shallowly into right field. Ballard will watch it fall in front of him. Head was over. That one was off the end of the bat. If it was hit a little bit more squarely, it might have found a way into Jason Ballard or Dylan Head's mitt, but it fell softly for the second hit of Humes' day. Tyler Bell watches that one in the dirt. Bell had the first hit against Humes in the first. He came around to score the only run of the day so far. Pickoff attempt. Hudick able to get over there safely. Bell also swiped 2 bags. Second and third. 1-0 to Bell is at the knees. Strike 1. Count is even, 1-1. Pickoff attempt. Hudick able to dive back to first. Bell hits one on the ground to Mulling. This could be 2. To Tate, on to Rainey, and it won't be 2. Bell is able to beat out the throw, but it's a fielder's choice for the second out of the third inning.
Catcher number 17, Nipper.
Aiden Nipper has the only RBI for either team today. It was a ground ball to Nico Bilgi that scored Bell from third. Bell is now on first, but as we've seen, he can use his legs to get in scoring position. First pitch from Humes. It's a pickoff. That one got away from Rainey, but thankfully it wasn't far enough away for Bell to think about trying to take second. It stayed on the infield. First pitch from Humes. There goes Bell. Throw from Lund is not going to be in time. It's Bell's third stolen base of the day. So if there's a base open, Tyler Bell is not afraid to take it. Count is 0-1 on Nipper as that breaking ball dropped in for a strike. Pickoff attempt. That throw was to the first base side of second, so Bell was able to get back to second. Lund calls time before that pitch was delivered. He'll go out and talk things over with Humes, probably just signs, as it was a fairly quick meeting. Make sure Bell isn't relaying anything. Count is still 0-1 on Nipper. Catcher trying to give Lincoln Way East a bigger lead than what they currently have. That one's spiked in the dirt. Good block by Lund, keeping that one in front of him. One and one is the count. Here's a pitch from Humes. Bell dancing off second in the dirt. Another good block by Lund. 2 balls and a strike to Nipper. Two and one. Here's a pitch from Humes. Top of the zone, strike 2. Count is even. Humes just 1 strike away from getting out of this third inning. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Humes gets his second K of the day, and it ends the third inning. Griffins strand one, and going into the bottom of the third, it's still 1-0. Corey Mulling leads things off for the Vikings in the bottom of the third. Mulling grounded to second in the first. He had a hit taken away from him by second baseman Johnny Dwyer in the first. Dwyer laid out and made a phenomenal play to keep Mulling off the bases. Mulling takes first pitch strike from Daniel Justo. Starter back out on the mound for Lincoln Way East. Mulling pops that one behind home, and it will drift out of play. Oh and 2 now is the count to Mulling. There's a pitch from Justo. Breaking ball that Mulling's able to tap. Foul. Just sort of stuck the bat out there and hoped for the best. Thankfully, he made contact with it. Still 0-2. That one's hit in the air. Deep left center field. And it will be caught by Hudick. Hudick ran that one down in the left center field gap. Another hard hit ball for the Vikings. Unfortunately, it is another hard hit ball that finds a glove. Jason Ballard, the right fielder, reached on an error in the first. Jared Velez could not handle a hard hit ground ball. Good breaking ball there from Justo. 0-1. Ballard tries to check his swing. And he does. Evens the count on a ball and a strike. Two and 1. So that one was below the zone. Two 1 pitch to Ballard. Fouled back 2-2. Count is even. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out in the bottom of the third inning. Breaking ball up. Full count to Ballard. Ballard trying to work a 1-out walk. Fouled it back. Still full. Ballard is the definition of a 3 true outcomes player. Either walk, strikeout, or home run. The only outcomes a pitcher can control. And that's inside. It's a walk for Jason Ballard. He extends his team lead over the Vikings. He's the Vikings walk leader. Preston Lund walked in the first. If he can do it again, the Vikings have a runner in scoring position. But Ballard swiped second to get himself in scoring position in the first. Lund fouled that one back, 0-1. One is a count. Pickoff attempt. Ballard able to get back into first. That one's below the zone. 1-1. Wasn't a bad pitch from Justo right there. Just a better take by Preston. That 1-1 is grooved for strike two. Lund knew it. He's mad at himself that he didn't swing. A ball and 2 strikes is a count to Lund. Breaking ball that he sends in the air, left center field. And Kosic able to make the play. 2 outs now for Isaiah White.
Designated hitter, number 13, Isaiah White.
White reached base on an infield single in the first. It just went under Justo's glove. It loaded the bases for the Vikings in the first. They didn't score in that first inning. That breaking ball was inside. 1-0. Justo stepped off. 1-0. Ballard runs. He'll have to come back. That pitch was fouled off. Count is even. A ball and a strike. Isaiah White trying to drive in Ballard from first. Get himself on base. Hit one on the ground to Dwyer at second. He'll take the short way and step on second for the 3rd out of the 3rd inning. So we're through 3, and only 1 run has come across for either team. It's 1-0 Griffins. Henry Humes has been solid for the Vikings so far. The freshman has gone 3 innings of 1-run ball against the #1 team in the state. But he'll face the heart of the Griffins lineup, starting with John Connors, who he hit in the first. Thankfully, he was able to strand Connors. Connors hits one on the ground to Mulling. Mulling's up with it, and he'll make the play. 1 pitch, 1 out in the top of the 4th. Trevor Fishman, the right fielder, grounded to short to end the 1st inning. First pitch from Humes. At the knees for strike 1. That's something Humes has done a good job of so far today, is getting ahead of batters. That 0-1 is low. 1-1. One pitch to Fishman. Hit back up the middle. Mulling makes a nice leaping grab, using all of that 5'9" frame to get up in the air for that one. Great play by Mulling to get the second out of the fourth inning for Zach Kwasny. The DH popped to first base in the second. Sees a breaking ball in for strike one. I think that sort of locked him up, because if he swings at that and puts a barrel on it, that ball is likely still in the air. That 0-1 is hit into right field. Ballard going to his left. He's at the line, and he'll make the play. A 1-2-3 top of the fourth inning for Henry Humes, and he's through 4 with only 1 run allowed. The Vikings still need to score. Vikings still trail by 1 going into the bottom of the fourth inning, but they've got a base runner on in every one of the first 3 innings. They had 3 on in the first with 2 outs. Elijah Rainey ended that first inning with a ground ball to third baseman Jared Velez. Rainey will start things in the fourth against Daniel Justo. He'll start his at-bat with a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 to Rainey. Breaking ball, it falls in there for strike 2. That pitch is nasty from Justo. I don't blame Rainey for not swinging at it. Just barely outside. 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes is a count to Rainey. Breaking ball is upstairs, evens things at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Justo working fairly quickly. 2-2 to Rainey. He swings and sends one a mile in the air. Shallow right field. Fishman coming in on it, and he'll make the catch. Chris Webb started the second inning with a line drive into right field that Trevor Fishman caught. The ball was hit hard, but it just hung up in the air too long for Trevor Fishman to put a glove on it, and he'll square bunt, get it down the third base line, and that is a great bunt, but it rolls foul. It was a great idea as Velez was playing a few steps behind third base. It's strike 1 to Webb, but a 0-1 from Justo. Swing and a miss at a curveball up in the zone. 0-2 is the count now. 0-2 to Webb. Breaking ball that he hits past the dive of Velez. It's a one-out single for Chris Webb. It sends Nico Bilgi to the dish with one out and one on in the fourth.
Third baseman, number 8, Nico Bilgi.
Bilgi popped to short in the second. Bilgi is on a bit of a hot streak recently. That's in the dirt and it gets away. And Chris Webb will move up 90 feet. That one got away from Nipper. And just like that, the tying run is in scoring position with one out in the fourth. If Bilgi can find the outfield grass with a single, I think Chris Webb is going to get waved around. Coach McCarthy loves to be aggressive. 1-0 to Bilgi. On the outside corner, 1-1. Bilgi trying to do the job here for the Vikings. He fouls that one back, 1-2. Bilgi wasn't under that one. That one was going to be hit a long way. Ball and 2 strikes is a count. Nipper calls time. One ball, 2 strikes is still the count to Nico. That's in the dirt, 2-2. Big pitch right here. Because Justo does not want to fall down to a full count against Bilgi. Full count pitch, 2-2 pitch. Is hit back up the middle, and it kicks off second base into center field, and that's going to score a run for the Vikings. A helpful bounce off second base ties this one at 1 in the bottom of the fourth inning. Nico Bilgi drives in Chris Webb.
Shortstop, number 2, Robert Tate.
Last hitter in the Vikings lineup, Rob Tate, was hit by a pitch in the second. He'll send one into center field. Kosic got turned around going back on it, and he'll make the catch falling down at the warning track. He got turned around and never really regained his balance, but so he made the catch as he was falling to the earth. But it's a long second out of the fourth inning.
Center fielder, number 1, Dylan Head.
It turns things over for Dylan Head. Head has hit 2 balls hard today. One was right at third baseman Jared Velez last time up. The other one was a fly ball that sent Trevor Fishman in right field all the way to the wall. If Head had hit it just a few feet farther, it would have been a leadoff home run. I believe Luke Griggs is pinch running for Nico Bilgi. Bilgi is the third baseman, so I believe that he's going to re-enter to play the field in the 5th and following innings. But Justo has his hands full right now. Head taps one foul, 0-1. Head has been seeing Justo fairly well. He's barreled 2 balls off him. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball just off the plate, ball 1. Count is even, 1-1. Ball on the strike. That's in the dirt. 2-1. Can't exactly walk him because Corey Mulling has hit 2 balls hard as well. 2-1 pitch from Justo. It's in the dirt yet again. 3 balls and a strike is the count to Dylan Head. It would send the go-ahead run into scoring position. Here's a 3-1 pitch from Justo. And it hits him right off the back thigh. It would have been ball 4 anyway, but Head will take his hit by pitch. Puts runners on first and second for the second baseman, Corey Mulling. And it will also send Aileen Kawini's coach out of the dugout to talk to Justo. Justo has fallen on a bit of issues here in the 4th. Back-to-back singles scored a run for the Vikings. Chris Webb singled to left, advanced to second on a pass ball, and then Nico Bilgi singled him in just one batter later. It was a ground ball up the middle that kicked off the second base bag and redirected itself into shallow right center field that allowed Chris Webb to motor home. And then Dylan Head's hit by pitch you just saw.
Second baseman, number 9, Corey Mulling.
Corey Mulling's 0 for 2 today, but he's had a hit taken away from him by second baseman Johnny Dwyer. And then he lined sharply to left to Matt Hudick. He'll take strike 1 from Justo. Go-ahead run standing on second base in the form of Luke Griggs. Mulling will tap that one foul. 0-2. Justo 1 strike away from getting out of it. Oh and 2. Here's a pitch from Justo. It's low and away. 1-2. Mulling still behind in the count. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Pops it foul. Still 1-2. Still a ball and 2 strikes to Mulling. Trying to drive in Griggs from second, give the Vikings a 2-1 lead. That's in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two to Mulling. Hit on the ground to Bell at short. He's up with it, and he'll fire to first for the 3rd out of the 4th inning. But the Vikings do get 1. They tie it at 1 after 4. And going into the top of the 5th inning, Henry Humes is back out on the mound. After a 1-2-3 top of the fourth inning, Henry Humes is going to go back out on the mound for the fifth inning, facing the bottom three hitters in the Griffins lineup, starting with third baseman Jared Velez. Excuse me, pinch hitter. Humes went 1-2-3 in the bottom of the fourth. Michael Cimental sees ball one from Humes. (1-0) to Cimental is hit softly back to Humes. He's going to make the play if he can make the throw, and he can for the first out of the fifth inning. 2 pitches, 1 out. Johnny Dwyer, the second baseman, was the first strikeout victim for Henry Humes. It ended the second inning when it happened. That's a foul ball. Just barely tips off of Dwyer's bat. He tried to check his swing, but he could not. So Humes catches a break, and it's 0-1. That one's hit softly into center field. Mulling calling for it, and he'll take it for the second out of the fifth inning. 4 pitches, 2 outs for Henry Humes. I feel like I've said that 5 times today. He's working very efficiently. 9-hitter for the Griffins. Center fielder Jack Kosic grounded to short for his first and only at-bat so far today. Trying to avoid being second 1-2-3 inning. And if Bilge can make this play, it will be. He'll fire over to Elijah Rainey. And Henry Humes, a 5-pitch top of the fifth inning. And he's through 5 innings of 1-run ball against the number 1 team in the state. How about it? It's tied at 5 going into the bottom of the fifth. Score is tied 1-1 going into the bottom of the fifth inning. The heart of the Vikings lineup is up, starting things with Jason Ballard. Ballard's reached base twice today, once via an error by third baseman Jared Velez, once was a walk. That was his last time up. He'll take strike one at the top of the zone from Daniel Justo. Justo still out on the bump for the Griffins. 0-1 pitch to Ballard. It's hit right back up the middle. It's a leadoff base runner for the Vikings, something they haven't had so far today, up until just now.
Catcher, number 10, Preston Lund.
Preston Lund is 0 for 1 with a walk today. He lined to center field his last time up. He's had Ballard on first base for all 3 of his at-bats. That one comes in on him, nearly hits him. 1-0. Ballard has stolen second already today. He'll try and take off right there. I think that was a hit and run. Lund fouled it off. It's 1-1 now. One ball, one strike to the Vikings backstop. That's upstairs, 2-1. Justo spins towards first, doesn't even offer. 2-1 pitch to Lund. Is below the zone. 3-1. Back-to-back base runners to start an inning is never what you want to see. Isaiah White is on deck. He's 1 for 2 with a single today. Lund fouls that one back. 3-2. Full count, nobody out in the fifth. Full count. Here's a pitch from Justo. Ballard takes off. Popped up on the infield. And it will drift out of play. Still full. Lund trying to work his way on in the fifth. He's already walked once today against Justo. Justo does that step off, but he doesn't throw. Now he'll throw. Ballard was already back to first by the time that Justo had thrown the ball. Count is still full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Lund. Ballard takes off. He'll have to come back yet again. He's getting his cardio in over there. Count is still full. I think we're just giving Ballard some time to catch his breath over on first. Now Lund will step back into the box. Justo steps off once again, doesn't pick off. Full count to Lund. Ballard takes off, hits on the ground. Velez knocks it down, but he'll have no play. It's back-to-back singles for the Vikings. And just like that, Vikes are in business in the fifth.
Designated hitter, number 13, Isaiah White.
Isaiah White is 1 for 2 today. Singled on the infield. Past Daniel Justo in the first inning. He grounded to second his last time up. First pitch to White. He squares bunt. Gets it down. It's back to Justo. He's up with it, and he'll fire to first. Safe at first. Dwyer dropped the ball, and I think White would have beat out the throw anyway. The Vikings have the bases loaded and nobody out in the bottom of the 5th inning. I believe that was an error by Johnny Dwyer. Elijah Rainey comes to the dish with the bases loaded and nobody out. Rainey flied to right his last time up. Big spot right here for the Vikings. They can take the lead with one swing. Checked his swing. He did not go. 1-0. Rainey was a little bit anxious to hit right there. He wants to drive in all 4 of these runs, including himself. Yep, he definitely does. 1-1. A single probably scores 2 for the Vikings. Another big swing and a miss from Rainey, 1-2. Forgot to mention Preston Lund was courtesy ran for by Josh Moore. Moore is now at second. A ball and 2 strikes. All Rainey needs to do is just put bat on ball. Find a way to score Ballard from third. One ball, 2 strikes. Hit on the ground. Velez makes a nice play. He'll come home with it. Safe at home. A fielder's choice that goes the Vikings' way, and it's 2-1 Vikings. An RBI for Elijah Rainey, and the Vikings have a 1-run lead. Bases still loaded for Chris Webb. It's 4 straight base runners for the Vikings, and they're not done yet. Still bases loaded, nobody out. Webb singled to left his last time up. He'll swing through that pitch from Justo, 0-1. Webb lined sharply to right field his first time up. He squares bunt, pulls back. Not too often you see a bunt shown with the bases loaded. A ball and a strike is the count to Webb. Webb scored in the 4th, the first run of the Vikings' day. 1-1 from Justo. Hit. Knocked down by Connors at first. He'll just tag Webb. Webb tried to jump out of the way of it, but it's a run score for the Vikings. It's an RBI for Chris Webb, and it's a 3-1 lead. He occupied John Connors long enough so that he could not come home. Nico Bilgi will bat with runners in scoring, 2 runners in scoring position and 1 out. Isaiah White on third, Elijah Rainey on second. Big swing and a miss, 0-1. Bilgi singled to center, scoring a run his last time up. That was in the 4th inning. Got a helpful bounce off the second base, like the physical second base, not the second base man. Bilgi sends one high into right field, and that ball is going to be caught by Fishman at the track, but it's a run-scoring sacrifice fly for the Vikings. They take a 4-1 lead, but once again, they were about 2 feet short of a home run into right field, and that would have been big. It would have given the Vikings a 5-run lead. It gives the Vikings a 3-run lead, however. For Rob Tate, shortstop lined sharply to center field his last time up. He'll pop one, first base side, drifting, and it will get out of play. It sent Rob Tate's out in the 4th, sent Jack Kosic back onto the track in deep center field. He got turned around and made the catch as he was falling over. 0-1 pitch to Tate. Breaking ball that he fouls back, 0-2. If Tate can get on base and extend the inning for Dylan Head, the Vikings can extend their lead even more. 0-2 to Tate. Swings at a fastball above the zone. It would have been a ball, but Tate stays alive. Still 0-2. 0-2 from Justo. It's a breaking ball on the inside corner, strike 3. It ends the 5th inning, but not before the Vikings add 3 and take a 4-1 lead over the Griffins going into the top of the 6th. And look who's back. It's Henry Humes. The freshman, Henry Humes, returns to the bump in the 6th inning, and he's got some run support for the first time today. He'll face the top of the Griffins lineup, starting with Matt Hudick. Left fielder is 1 for 2 today. He singled to right his last time up. Takes strike 1 from Humes. And just like that, Humes is in line for the win. He has pitched with a lead. 0-1 pitch from Humes. It's just barely outside, 1-1. Big thing for Humes so far today is he's working efficiently. He's had a few innings under 10 pitches. Awkward swing and a miss there from Hudick. 1-2. Awkward swing down the left field line. Bilgi raging over, and he'll slide and come up empty on it. Great effort from the third baseman. It would have been a phenomenal play. Unfortunately off camera, but still 1-2 to Hudick. Lined into left field, Webb racing over, and he'll make a nice running play along the left field line for the first out of this 6th inning. Tyler Bell, shortstop, is 1 for 2 today with a single and a fielder's choice ground out. Sees a breaking ball just barely off the plate for ball 1. It's important that Humes keeps Bell off the bases because he's got 3 stolen bases in just 2 trips on base. That's up and maybe a little bit out, 2-0. Two balls and no strikes is a count to Bell. He'll line one into center field, head going back on it, and he'll watch that one fly out of here. It's a solo shot for Tyler Bell. It cuts the Vikings' lead to just 2, but that could have been a lot worse. You're thankful that nobody was on base. And you're thankful for all the insurance runs the Vikings got in the bottom of the 5th. And it will send pitching coach Vince Davis out of the dugout to talk to his freshman pitcher. He's gotten the batter now, Aiden Nipper, out twice. He got him to ground to third in the first inning. And then he struck him out to end the third. His second and latest strikeout victim. He only has 2 punch-outs on the day. That hit was the first since Matt Hudick all the way back in the 3rd inning. So Humes will stay out there. First pitch to Nipper. It's tipped into the zone. Caught by Lund, 0-1. Nipper fouls it back yet again, 0-2. 2 breaking balls for Humes, has him ahead in the count, 0-2. Humes 1 strike away. He pulls that one a little bit low. It was about 56 feet. A ball and 2 strikes is a count to Nipper now. He's still behind in the count to Humes. One ball, 2 strikes. Ooh, just barely off the plate. Great spot by Humes. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fans here wanted it. I think everybody related to the Vikings wanted it. That one's fouled off third base side. Still 2-2 to Nipper. Two balls, two strikes. Fouled off once again. You all know the count by now. But in case you just tuned in within the last 3 seconds, it's 2-2. That one's lined on two bounces to Tate. He'll make a sliding stop and fire on over to Elijah Rainey. A great play by Rob Tate for the second out of the 6th inning. Some good defense behind Henry Humes has held the #1 team in the state to just 2 runs so far through 6 innings. For John Connors. Connors was hit by a pitch in the first, and he then grounded to second base, Corey Mulling, in the 4th. I'll take ball 1 low. One-0 pitch from Humes. Hit on the ground. Backhand play by Elijah Rainey. He'll take it himself. Just like that, Henry Humes, the freshman, is through 6 innings, and he has a lead against the #1 team in the state of Illinois. We got a new pitcher in the game for the Griffins. Lefty Aaron Scott relieves Daniel Justo of his duties on the bump. It's a tough spot in the Vikings lineup. Starting with the center fielder Dylan Head. Head was hit by a pitch his last time up. Still searching for his first hit today, however. He'll take ball 1 outside from Scott. Vikings need just 3 outs to clinch a win over the #1 team in the state of Illinois, but they would like to add more insurance runs. That's off the plate, 2-0. Two-0 pitch to Head. Low, 3-0. A leadoff walk is never a good thing for the pitcher, but it's especially bad when that leadoff walk is to Dylan Head. 3-0 pitch from Scott. That's in there. Strike 1. Still a long way to go. 3 balls and a strike is a count to Head. Pops it. Left field. And that ball will be caught by third baseman Jared Velez in the foul territory.
Second baseman, #9, Corey Mulling.
Second baseman Corey Mulling, who is 0 for 3 today, will come to the plate now. You'll see strike one from Scott. Oh, 1 pitch to Mulling. Fastball up and out. Evens things at a ball and a strike. That 1-1 is fouled back, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the 6th. Here's a pitch from Scott to Mulling. It's a breaking ball that Mulling chases, pops it foul. Still 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Here's a pitch to Mulling. Up and out yet again, 2-2. Mulling trying to work his way on for the first base runner of the 6th for the Vikings. He's 1 pitch away from doing so. Count is full now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. He's worked back from 0-2 to now 3-2. Full count pitch from Scott. Fouled back. Still full. Three-two. Here's a pitch from Scott to Mulling. It's in there for strike 3. Mulling thought it was ball 4. Mulling goes down looking. Sends Jason Ballard to the dish with nobody on and 2 outs. Ballard's reached base in all 3 of his trips to the plate so far. His last one was a single up the middle to start the 5th. He came around to score. That's low, 1-0. While the Vikings do have a lead, they would like to add some more runs. That one hits the plate, bounces up over Nipper's head. 2-0. Two balls, no strikes to Ballard. Two-0 pitch from Scott. Upstairs, 3-0. Ballard trying to work his second walk of the day. I doubt he swings right here. 3-0 pitch to Ballard. That's in there. Strike 1. Once again, still a long way to go. But Scott has gone to a 3-ball count against both of the hitters he's faced so far this inning and gotten out. That one's right back up the middle. Almost took Scott's head off. It's a 2-out single for Jason Ballard, and he is 2 for 2 today.
Catcher, number 10, Preston Lund.
Preston Lund is 1 for 2 with a walk today. He singled his last time up. It was a diving stop by Jared Velez, the third baseman, but Lund was able to beat out the throw. First pitch to Lund is above the zone, ball 1. Scott having some control issues. Ball and no strikes to Lund. He takes strike 1 on the inside corner. Count is even. A ball and a strike. Trying to add some insurance runs for the Vikings. Lund skies one down the right field line, and it will drift out of play. Count is now 1-2. Lund trying to split a gap for the Vikings, because Ballard has wheels at first. He can fly. One-two pitch to Lund. Ballard takes off. That one's in the dirt, and Ballard will take second standing up. A stolen base for Jason Ballard, his second of the day. And if you want insurance runs, it's on second base now. Runners in scoring position. Count is 2-2 to Lund. Two-two. Inside, full count yet again. All four batters that have faced Aaron Scott this inning have reached a 3-ball count against him. 3-2, 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th. Big pitch from Lund right here. Ballard takes off. Lund swings through that pitch. And he will be out at first base after a drop third is fired down there. But more importantly, the Vikings are up 2, going into the top of the 7th inning. And it looks like Henry Hume's day is done. Jack Berry will relieve him on the mound. So going into the top of the 7th, the Vikings need just 3 outs. New pitcher in the game for the Vikings, Jack Berry, needs just 3 outs to complete a win for the Vikings. He'll face the 5, 6, 7 hitters in the Griffins lineup, starting with Trevor Fishman. Fishman's 0 for 2 today. Henry Humes went 6 innings, 2 earned runs. A great day. Slow curveball, didn't get the call. Fishman had a hit taken away from him by Corey Malling his last time up. It was a leaping grab by the second baseman. Breaking ball hits softly on the ground, and it will split the gap between Bilgi and Tate. A softly hit leadoff single for the Griffins. Zach Kwasny is also 0 for 2 today. He flied to right his last time up. Kwasny does represent the tying run at the plate. First pitch from Barry. Breaking ball lined past Bilgi into left field. Chris Webb up with it. He'll keep Fishman at second. And it's back-to-back singles to start the 7th. And that sends the go-ahead run to the plate. Jared Velez. He's 0 for 1 today. He had his at-bat taken from him by Michael Cemental in the 5th. Cemental grounded back to the pitcher. Velez grounded to short his only time up today. He squares bunt, pops it, foul. 0-1. Getting Velez out right here would be big, as then a ground ball double play ends the game. Oh, 1 pitch from Barry. He'll spin. Fishman able to scurry back to second. Oh, 1 pitch from Barry. Squares bunt yet again, gets it down. Third base side, Bilgi up with it, and he'll have no play, and the bases are loaded. Johnny Dwyer will come to the plate. Excuse me, not Johnny Dwyer.
Number 32,
Blake Binkowski will be the batter for Johnny Dwyer. I believe that might be it for Jack Barry. Coach McCarthy coming out to the mound. We usually see this when a pitching change takes place. But since Barry has not received a visit from Vince Davis, the pitching coach, I doubt he's getting taken out right here. But he's in a jam in the 7th. The tying run is on second base. Go-ahead run on first. Barry's going to stay in there to face Blake Binkowski. Double play ball is still an option. The Vikings likely will concede a run to get 2 outs if they can. First at bat for Binkowski today, coming off the bench. A big situation for the Griffins. He'll take ball 1 outside. One and 0 is the count to Binkowski. Swings and misses at a Barry slider. 1-1. That was a big swing. Came up empty. Count is even, a ball and a strike. 1-1 from Barry. In there for strike 2. That fastball just locked Binkowski up. That fastball from Jack Barry will get up on you, especially when you see that slow overhand curveball. It's 1-2 now to Binkowski. 1-2 pitch. He'll tap one off Barry's glove. Mulling up with it. He'll fire to first. He'll get 1 out, but a run does score for the Griffins. So the runners advance to second and third. Mulling had a play on Velez. He could have just tagged him and then gone to first. But Jack Kosic, who is 0 for 2 today, will come to the plate in a big situation here for the Griffins. Tying run just 90 feet away. So now the Vikings will go infield in. First pitch from Barry. Slider that he hits out into shallow left field. Webb racing in. Not shallow, not deep enough to get the tying run in. So it's 2 outs for the top of the order. Matt Hudick is 0 for 3 today. Excuse me, 1 for 3 today. Kwasny on third. Could not advance to home. That ball was hit so softly. But now this is the biggest at-bat of the game. All of this has been leading up to this moment right here. First pitch to Hudick. Takes strike 1. Hudick looked like he was taken all the way. So now Barry's ahead, 0-1. 0-1 pitch to Hudick. That's low. 1-1. Count is even. A ball and a strike. Could cut the tension in the air with a knife right now. 1-1. Hudick grounds one. On the ground to Mulling. And he botches it! He can't make the play. And the Griffins tie it 4-4. It was a softly hit ground ball that Mulling just booted. Game is tied 4-4. So if the Vikings want to win, it will have to be in walk-off fashion. And Tyler Bell, the man who homered in the 6th, comes to the plate. He has not gotten out today. He'll take strike one from Barry on a slow overhand curveball. Oh, 1 pitch to Bell. He's locked up on a changeup, 0-2. Getting through this inning tied is the second best outcome. The first best would have been getting out of it with a Vikings win. 0-2 pitch from Barry. Up and out, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes to Bell. Here's a pitch from Barry. Swings and misses. The Griffins tie it, so we'll go to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Vikings are going to need some walk-off magic. Leading off of the bottom of the 7th inning, Isaiah White.
Number 13.
White has reached base twice today. Once was an infield single, the other was an error on a bunt. The ball just popped out of Johnny Dwyer's glove when he was covering first. But the Vikings are going to need some walk-off magic if they want to come out on top. Luckily for them, Elijah Rainey, who has both walk-offs this year, is due up second. White swings through a fastball from Aaron Scott, who is back out on the mound for the Griffins. This game has gone really quickly, too. Just past the 2-hour mark. White pops one out of play down the first base line, 0-2. Is a count to leadoff man, Isaiah White. That gets away from Nipper. 1-2. Scott's still ahead. Ball and 2 strikes to White. and he'll get White to go down on strikes for the first out of the 7th. Elijah Rainey, who is 0 for 3 today, will step in.
First baseman, number 4.
That'll be a good time for his first hit. First pitch to Rainey. He swings and sends one in the air down the right field line. And it will be caught down the right field line by Trevor Fishman in foul territory.
Left fielder, number 23, Webb.
Chris Webb has gotten aboard once today via the single. He's 1 for 2 with a line drive to left field. He swings through a Scott fastball, 0-1. Takes strike 2 from Scott. 1 strike away from going to extras. 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball that Webb skies into shallow right. Dwyer over, and he'll make the catch to finish off a 1-2-3 bottom of the 7th. So there will be extra baseball tonight. Going into the top of the 8th, it's knotted up at 4. If you enjoyed this game, you're in luck because we've got an extra inning of baseball for you, at least one. Top of the 8th inning, Jack Berry's still out on the mound. He'll face the 3, 4, 5 hitters in the Griffins lineup, starting with catcher Aiden Nipper, who is 0 for 3 today. He grounded to short his last time up. He'll take a big overhand curveball from Berry in for strike 1. Berry ahead, 0-1. Nipper lines one into left field. Webb going back on it. He'll jump, and he can't make the catch. Got turned around out there in left field, and Nipper will motor towards second with a leadoff double. That one just tailed back towards the left field line, and Chris Webbs overran it. John Connors has reached base once today via the hit by pitch. He has grounded out twice since then. First pitch from Berry. It's low, ball 1. One-oh pitch from Berry. Just barely up. 2-0. Connors ahead in the count 2-0 against Barry. Go-ahead run on second base. 2-0. Long, lofted into left field. Webb under it this time. He'll make the catch. Routine fly ball out there and left for Chris Webb. 1 out in the 8th for Trevor Fishman, who is 1 for 3 today with a single to left field as his only hit of the day. That single started the 7th. He later came around to score. You'll see first pitch slider from Barry hit on the ground softly, mauling up with it, and he'll make no play. He thought about trying to throw out Fishman at first, decided to hold it. So it's runners on the corners now, 1 out for Zach Kwasny. Kwasny is also 1 for 3 with a single to left field and a run scored. Go-ahead run now on third, but a ground ball double play sends the Vikings into the bottom of the 8th, still tied. Kwasny calls time. First pitch to Kwasny. It's low, 1-0. Kwasny popped to first base and flied to right in his other 2 at-bats. Another pickoff attempt. That Lincoln Way East dugout has come alive after being silent for 6 innings. Don't blame him, though. 1-0 pitch from Barry to Kwasny. He'll pick off again. Fishman able to dive onto first base. Still 1-0 to Kwasny. Fouled back. 1-1. Still just a ground ball away from getting out of this inning. Count is even, 1-1. Overhand curveball, bottom of the zone, strike 2. Barry 1 strike away from punching out Kwasny. 1-2 pitch. Fastball that comes in on him, 2-2. Count is even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out in the 8th. Here's a pitch from Barry. It's hit in the air. Shallow center. Dylan Head is under it. No tag. And the throw is cut off by Rainey. First and third, 2 outs now. That was not nearly deep enough to get Nipper in from third.
Number 18,
We got a pinch hitter. This would be Jared Velez's spot in the lineup. Barry still just 1 out away from getting out of this. Gavin Ledare will take Velez's spot. Lund pump faked. So now Fishman stands on second. 0-1 is the count. Ledare behind in the count, 0-1. Behind Behind in the count, 0-2. Great curveball from Barry. Has him one strike away from getting out of it. Oh and 2 against Ledare. Fastball tipped into the middle Lund. Jack Barry works out of a leadoff double, and we're going to the bottom of the 8th, still tied, 4-4. In the bottom of the 8th inning, the Vikings will send 8-9-1 to the top, to the plate. Starting with Nico Bilgi. Bilgi's 1 for 2 today with a sac fly. He singled up the middle in the 4th. We'll take ball 1 from Aaron Scott, who is still out on the mound for the Griffins. 1-0 to Bilgi. 2-0 now. Two balls, no strikes to the leadoff man, Nico Bilgi. He swings and fouls that one back. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bilgi has 1 home run on the year. It came in the Vikings Kentucky trip against a very good Trinity team. His second one right here would be a story to tell. Hits one on the ground. Connor's up with it, and he will slide and make the play at first base. Bilgi almost beat it out, but it's a ground out for the first out of the 8th. Rob Tate, who is 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch today. He'll come to bat with nobody on and 1 out in the 8th. He struck out to end the 5th his last time up. He flies that one down the right field line out of play. Fishman has made a lot of plays out there in that right field, but not going to make that one. 0-1 is the count to Tate. He watches ball 1 just off the plate. A base runner right here would be big, because then you have to pitch to Dylan Head, who's on deck. That's ball 2 upstairs. Two balls and a strike is the count to Rob. He'll send one over the head of Dwyer at second. It's a 1-out single for Robert Tate. And it's the top of the order. Dylan Head, number 1 baseball player in the state of Illinois, against the number 1 team in Illinois. You can't walk him right here. Because if you had 2 outs, you might have just given him first and taken your chances with Corey Mulling. But now that there's a runner on, you can't walk him. Heads 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch today. He's still looking for his first hit. I know he wants to add his first hit of the day right here. Check swing. He fouls it off. And when it went in off the hands of Head, you see him shaking it out right there. Hopefully he's okay. He seems to be fine. It's 0-1 now. Oh and 1. Here's a pitch from Scott. Head flies one into left field. And Bell will make the catch. He was running out. Hudick was running in. 2 outs in the inning now for Corey Mulling.
Second baseman, number 9, Corey Mulling.
Mulling's 0 for 4 today. He struck out in the 6th for his last time up. First pitch from Scott. Outside, ball 1. If Mulling can split a gap, I think Rob Tate's going to be waved around third. But that's a big if. Tate takes off. Mulling does split a gap. And will it be caught? It will. Jack Kosic runs it down in left center field. If that ball falls, the game is over. But we'll go to a 9th inning. Still tied up 4-4. Jack Barry stays out on the mound for this top of the 9th inning. This will be his 3rd inning of relief. Henry Humes, the starter, went 6 innings, allowed 2 runs. Barry allowed 2 in the top of the 7th for this game to get where it is, 4-4. Johnny Dwyer, the second baseman, is 0 for 2 today. We'll see ball 1 below the zone from Barry. Dwyer was pinch hit for by Blake Binkowski his last time up. Binkowski grounded out, but it scored the 3rd run. Breaking ball just barely inside. 2-0. Two balls, no strikes. That one's low. It's now 3-0. Barry has allowed a leadoff base runner in each of the first 2 innings that he's pitched. And he's 1 pitch away from continuing that streak to 3. There's a 3-0. That's at the bottom of the zone. Strike 1. So we will delay that streak for at least one more pitch. Hopefully Barry is able to bounce back and get Dwyer right here. 3 balls and a strike. And it's outside. It's ball 4. The streak does continue. A leadoff walk for Johnny Dwyer sends Jack Kosic to the plate with a man on first and nobody out. Kosic is 0 for 3 today. He's grounded to each man on the left side of the infield once and then flied to left. So if you're on the left side of the infield, Kosic might hit you a ball. You see Nico Bilgi playing in, way in, over at third, guarding against the bunt. Doesn't stop Kosic from squaring. That one just barely up, or maybe a little bit out. 1-0. To Kosic. He squares bunt. Yes, he did. 1-1. He didn't even attempt to pull back. I think he just missed it. It evens the count at a ball and a strike. Kosic is the last hitter in the Griffins lineup. Matt Hudick, the leadoff man, is on deck. Squared bunt yet again, fouled back. So now it's 1-2. Kosic failed to do his job of getting a bunt down. Unless Griffins pull out the rare 2-strike bunt attempt. But after Kosic failed to lay one down in 3 pitches, I doubt that his coach will give him the sign. 1-2. Pickoff attempt. Dwyer able to dive into first. A ball and 2 strikes to Kosic. He squares bunt yet again, and he bunts it right back to Lund. Lund will throw it high over Elijah Rainey's head. A 2-strike bunt attempt goes the Griffins' way, and a wide throw goes even more their way. And it's runners on the corners, nobody out for the top of the order in Matt Hudick. Hudick reached on an error by the second baseman Corey Malling in the 7th. That play scored the 4th run for the Griffins. It was a slow roller that Malling just rushed a bit, got his feet tangled up and booted it. It tied the game at the time, and it has been tied since. Before that play, Hudick lined to left field, singled to right, and then flied to left once again. This is his 5th at bat, and none bigger than the one right now. Go-ahead run, just 90 feet away for the Griffins. Vikings going infield in now, trying to cut down that run at the plate. Hudick calls time, steps out. So now Lund will give first and third signs in case Kosic tries to take second. I doubt that they'll throw through because Dwyer on third prevents that pickoff attempt, and it gets away from Rainey, and a run's going to score. An errant throw by Jack Barry, or maybe a missed pick by Elijah Rainey. You can take your choice, but it's the 5th run for the Griffins, and they take a 1-run lead in the top of the 9th. So the Vikings are going to need to score in the bottom of the 9th no matter what. Hudick sees first pitch strike from Barry. All of that was before Hudick even saw a pitch. Takes off, hit on the ground to Malling. Kosic will advance to second, but Hudick grounds out. Tyler Bell, who is homered in the 6th, comes to the plate now. He's 2 for 4 today. He struck out to end the 7th against Barry his last time up. And he'll be intentionally walked. I don't blame Coach McCarthy right there. Bell's really been the only man to hurt you so far today. And now it sends Aiden Nipper to the plate with runners on first and second and 1 out. Double play ball is in order now, but Nipper doubled down the left field line his last time up. That started the 8th, and luckily Barry was able to strand him. That's hit on the ground. One hop right to Bilgi at third. He'll step on third, long throw, and a great pick by Elijah Rainey. A 5-3 double play ends the top of the 9th. Vikings need to score 1 to tie, 2 to win. In the bottom of the 9th inning, the Vikings will send Jason Ballard, Preston Lund, and Isaiah White to the plate. That's a guarantee. Anything beyond that is unknown as of right now.
Number 5, Jason Ballard.
But one thing that is known is that Jason Ballard has had a great day so far. He's reached base in all 4 times he's come to the plate. 2 of them in his last 2 at-bats were via a single up the middle. He takes strike 1 at the knees from Aaron Scott. He has 1 of only 2 hits for the Vikings off Scott since he's come in. He takes strike 2. Very quickly, he's behind in the count, 0-2. But he was in this exact situation last time. He'll tip that one back. 0-2 still. On Ballard's single in the 6th, he nearly took off Scott's head. It was a line drive right back up the middle. 0-2 pitch. Right back up the middle, playable by Bell, and he'll fire onto first base. A great play by Tyler Bell. Keep Ballard off the base paths for the first time today. Preston Lund is 1 for 3 today. Comes to the plate. He singled in the 5th and walked in the 1st. His last at bat he struck out. That one's off the plate, ball 1. One-0. Lund check swings and it goes right back to Scott. Scott will take it himself for the second out of the 9th inning. Lund wanted to check it, but he could not. Vikings down to their final out.
Isaiah White.
White has reached base twice today. He singled in the 1st, reached on an error in the 5th. Struck out his last time up against Scott. He'll see strike 1. Oh and 1. Here's a pitch to White. That's in. 1-1. A ball and a strike to Isaiah White, trying to extend the inning. That's up. 2-1. Not getting ahead of ourselves, but Elijah Rainey, who has 2 of the 2 walk-offs for the Vikings. He has all of the walk-offs. He's on deck. White takes upstairs, 3-1. A walk would send the winning run to the plate, but it's more important that Isaiah just finds a way to get on base. 3-1. Here's a pitch from Scott. Swing and a miss. 3-2. Massive pitch right here. Strike 3, game over. Ball 4, winning run to the plate for the Vikings. Full count, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th, down by 1. It's in, it's ball 4, and it sends the go-ahead run and winning run to the plate in Elijah Rainey. He's 0 for 4 today, but he can snap that skid.
First baseman, number 4, Elijah Rainey.
He flied out in foul territory to the right fielder, Trevor Fishman. His last time up in the 7th. First pitch from Scott. At the knees, strike 1. Can Rainey be the hero for the 3rd time? 0-1 pitch to Elijah. Taps one on the ground to Velez at 3rd. Long throw, and he throws it away! White is going to be waved around, and he will be sent back to 3rd, and the ball gets out of play. Man, that is an unfortunate turn of events for the Vikings. It sends Chris Webb to the plate with the tying and winning runs in scoring position.
Number 23, Chris Webb.
If that ball stays in play, the Vikings tie it. But now they'll have to bat Chris Webb, and Bennett Reich will come in and run for Elijah Rainey. Reich does represent the winning run over there on 2nd. So now Lincoln East coach will come out and talk to Scott. He got Chris Webb to pop out to 2nd base his last time up, but before that, Webb had put some pretty good swings on the ball. He lined hard to right in the 1st and then singled in the 4th. He then had an RBI ground out in the 5th. So Webb has had some productive at-bats so far today, but it all comes down to right here, right now. An error extended this game for the Griffins. They scored on Corey Mulling's error in the top of the 7th. Can the Vikings capitalize off of a Velez error in the bottom of the 9th? Two runners in scoring position, 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning for Chris Webb. There hasn't been a bigger spot all game. Here's the first pitch from Scott. At the knees, strike 1. Can Webb be the hero? 0-1 is the count. Here's a pitch from Scott. That's up, 1-1. A walk loads the bases for Nico Bilgi. But we have to get there first. It's 1-1. Here's a pitch from Scott. Webb fouls one off right field line. 1-2. Everybody in the stands just gave a collective gasp. Everybody is on their edge of their seat. A ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. Tying run at third, winning run at second. Here's a pitch to Chris Webb. It's up, ball 2. Great take there from Chris. Count is even now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 men on for Chris Webb. Here's a 2-2 from Scott. Webb calls time, steps out. Elevating the tension, elevating the pressure for Scott. 2-2. Here's a pitch from Scott. It's up, it's ball 3. Full count. Nico Bilgi waits on deck. The man who saved the bottom of the 9th with his double play at third. He has a chance if Chris Webb walks right here. 3-2, 2 outs. It's up, it's ball 4, and he will have a chance. Nico Bilgi with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th against the #1 team in Illinois. Literally a movie script. Bilgi's last time up against Scott, he grounded to first. John Connors made a nice play in the hole between second and first. He then ran the ball himself towards first as opposed to flipping to Scott, who should have been covering. But Bilgi will come to the plate in what might be the last at-bat, no matter the outcome. Bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. First pitch from Scott. It's up, ball 1. Good start for the Vikings. 1-0 is the count. Here's a pitch to Bilgi. It's up, ball 2. 2-0. A walk is as good as a hit right here. Any way to get on. Find a way on. 2-0. It's upstairs, 3-0. Oh my. 3 balls in a row to Nico Bilgi. Aaron Scott, can he perform under pressure? He hasn't so far. 3-0. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th, tying run on third. It's in, it's ball 4, and this ball game is tied at 5. A 4-pitch walk for Nico Bilgi sends Rob Tate to the plate with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Oh man. If you thought the Vikings were out of the game when 1 run came across in the 9th, you were sorely mistaken. The momentum has swung back in the Vikings' favor. And now, with 2 outs, the Vikings send 4 batters to the plate. Walk, error, walk, walk, and a run scored, and it's 5-5. Tate takes ball 1 upstairs. A walk does the job. And now, Nipper goes out to talk to Scott. Oh, baby. 4 straight free passes for the Vikings. Isaiah White walked. Elijah Rainey reached on an error by Jared Velez. White advanced to third. Rainey advanced to second on that error. Chris Webb walked to load the bases. Bilgi walked to drive in White. All of that was with 2 outs. 1-0 is a count to Tate. That's in there. It's the first strike a Vikings batter has seen in 6 pitches. It evens the count at 1-1. 1-1. Here's a pitch to Tate. Low, and it gets away. Here comes Reich. Here's the throw. Safe at home. Bennett Reich scores and the Vikings win. 6-5. A walk-off win over the number 1 team in the state, and they're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Bennett Reich scores on a pass ball, and the Vikings take a 6-5 win over Lincoln Way East. They hand them their 7th loss of the year. What a statement win for the Vikings, and what a game. Henry Humes, the freshman, played like a senior through 6 innings of 2-run baseball against a phenomenal Lincoln Way East team. Jack Berry was shaky out of the pen, but he got it done when it mattered. And more importantly, the Vikings come from behind. They score 2 in the bottom of the 9th inning and take a 6-5 win over the number 1 team in the state of Illinois. I doubt they'll be there for much longer, as you can't lose much when you're at the top of the leaderboards. And if you thought this game was good, oh boy, do I have a surprise for you. We're doing it all again on Wednesday. We'll play this exact same game, well, at least I hope so. We'll go to Lincoln Way East and hopefully beat them there as well. Vikings win 6-5 in 9 innings. What a game. What an ending. And hopefully this is just the start of a phenomenal playoff run for the Vikings. They're getting hot at the right time. Don't let them get hot. For everybody here at the HF Viking Baseball program, I'm Dylan Barnes. Have an absolutely amazing night.